today what we are going to do is an advanced version of what we learned last class, right? Using EWMA, right? So similarly, there is one more version of this. We can use GARCH also for calculating the VAR under model approach, model building approach. So we will be doing today calculation of VAR and conditional VAR under model building approach using EWMA, exponentially weighted minimum average method. Okay. So I think you have got the data set opened, right? Yes or no? First, the details related to investment in 4 different index funds are given. 4 million in Dow Jones, 3 million in FTSE, 1 million in CSE, and 2 million in Nikkei. Total $10 million, right? So what is the weight for Dow Jones? That is 40% or 0.4. For FT, it is 0.3. For CSE, it is 0.1. For Nikkei, it is 0.2. So naturally, the total weight will be equal to 1. Okay, this is given to you, and these are the return numbers. Sorry, price numbers or the index points. Dow Jones, FTSE, CSE, Nikkei, right? And the numbers, the data is from 7th August 2006 till 25th September 2008. You see, I have kept certain rows hidden. You see, from 18, next row number is 506. That means the rows in between are hidden, so that we can, you don't have to, scroll down till the end. We can view the sheet like this only. So whenever you deal with a very large data set, you can just keep some of the rows hidden, right? Is it clear to all of you? I have kept some of the rows hidden. That's it. So you can always unhide. You select these two, right click, and you can click on unhide. So the whole thing will come. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. Now let us do the return calculation step by step. So first do the return calculation for Dow Jones. How do I calculate? Last class we talked about it. The return on Dow Jones on 8th August is equal to the value of Dow Jones on 8th August divided by value of Dow Jones on 7th August minus 1. Okay. Or you can calculate like this: value of Dow Jones on 8th August minus value of Dow Jones on 7th August whole divided by value of Dow Jones on 7th August. Both the ways you will get the same answer. And in the last class, I told that here we are not using continuous compounding, right? So if you use continuous compounding, the formula will be ln in bracket B8 by B7. That's it. And if you do so, you will see that we are going to get almost the same answer. If I do instead of this, ln this by, that is B8 by B7, will give you almost the same thing, 0.00409. Here it is 0.00408. So this is another way of calculating return. By far we have learned or we have used continuous compounding, but this is another way you can do it. Especially for daily data, the difference will be very, very less. So it does not really matter whether you use continuous or normal way of calculating return. Is it clear? So once this is done, for the first one, you just have to drag it till the end. Okay. So you just drag it till the end like this. This is done. Is it done for Dow Jones? Yes or no? In the same way you calculate complete for all except portfolio. I think all of you will be able to do this. So till Nikkei you do it. Same process. Once done, just let me know. So you see, if I show you the formula, see these returns are multiplied with the respective weights, and we have taken the sum of that. So please do it, everyone, and please give absolute reference for the weights, because those same weights I am going to use for the other portfolio return numbers as well. So please complete this. Once this is done for the first return, portfolio return, just drag it for the rest. Okay, do the formula once again. N8, I think, no, N7. In N7, you type 0.94. That is lambda is equal to 0.94. This is again a given number. We are following the JP Morgan's risk matrix model. If you recall, initially we learned this, right? While calculating while designing the volatility models, JP Morgan's risk matrix model. Now come to variance calculation. So we will be using the var.p function available in the Excel to calculate the variance for the first day's calculation. Okay. Got it? Everybody got the variance for Dow Jones? Yes or no? Is it done? Now done for the first day. Now let us come to second day. What about for the second day? Now second day, very simple, as the formula I just showed. Formula will be lambda multiplied by previous day's variance plus 1 minus lambda into previous day's return square. That is what exactly I have done. Don't forget to give absolute reference for the lambda number, because the same lambda number you will have to use for all the calculations, right? So take this formula or use this formula. Once this is done, then you can drag it. So I can just drag it till this. Okay. The same way we will do it for FTSE. So first will be the normal variance calculation, variance.p. Do it. Then again, we will be using the same technique. Same formula, that is lambda into previous day's variance plus 1 minus lambda into previous day's return square or previous day's squared return. So drag it till 507, you drag it. Yes, now I am able to write. Okay, this is the formula basically we are using, right? ASC. First calculate the variance for the first day using the var.p function. The next day's calculation, use the formula lambda multiplied by previous day's variance plus 1 minus lambda into previous day's squared return. This one, drag it till 507. Now go to Nikkei. Same way, first use var.p function to calculate the variance for the first day. Then you come to the next day. Use this formula again. Lambda into previous day's variance plus 1 minus lambda into previous day's squared return. Nikkei is done. Nikkei. Now come to portfolio. Same process for portfolio also. For first day's return, use var.p. From second day onwards, use this formula. Yes. So just drag it till 507. Okay. Next is covariance calculation. Okay. Now to do the covariance calculation, you have to be very careful. Now covariance can be calculated between two variables, right? So in this case, variables are the different index funds. So you have total 4 funds. So total 4 funds means how many combinations can you have taking two at a time. Say, let me show it to you first. Then now, say there are 4 funds, right? Let me name them like this. Dow Jones, say D, then FTSE, let us say F, CSE C, and Nikkei, say N. These are the 4 funds. Now, if I have to make combinations taking 2 funds at a time, because when I calculate covariance, it has to be a covariance between 2 things, now, right? Yes or no? So how do I calculate? So first I have to find out how many such combinations can be possible. So how to do that? Like this. First you start with like this. Let me write it here just for your simplicity or understanding. Say first start with the first one. Say let us first one is D. So first one and second one, DF, then DC, then DN. Then you start with the second one. So you should go like this, FC, then FD, that is FN, right? Yes or no? Then you start with the third one. So these many combinations are possible. Have you understood? That is what I have written here. See, DF, DC, DN, then FC, then FN, okay, and then finally CN. What should be the covariance? Covariance between and FTSE. Okay. So how do I calculate covariance? One way is to calculate the covariance dot P, that is, but under CWMA method, or sorry, under EWMA method, the covariance is calculated using this formula. The covariance is calculated using this formula. What is the formula? Formula says covariance between two variables, say X and Y. Covariance between two variables X and Y on day n is equal to lambda into covariance between X and Y on day n minus 1 plus 1 minus lambda into return on X on the previous day multiplied by return on Y on the previous day. Now it is clear that for the first day I cannot apply this formula. Yes or no? Because for the first day to apply this formula I need the previous day's number. Are you getting my point, what I'm saying? Yes or no? This is the formula that is used to calculate covariance under EWMA approach. But I cannot apply this formula for the first day's calculation because I do not have the previous day's number. So for first day's covariance calculation, I'll have to use the normal covariance.p function available in Excel. So that is what I have done. Covariance.p. So you can do it now. Covariance.p. So covariance.p, you have to select the arrays. So first array is H8 till H507, comma, second array is I8 till I507. Okay. If you come back this side, probably you will be able to see these two are selected, right? Okay. So that is what I have done. Complete this, everyone, then we'll proceed gradually. For the second day's covariance, we can use the formula. That is what I have done. Lambda into previous day's covariance plus 1 minus lambda into previous day's return from Dow Jones multiplied by previous day's return from FTSE. That is what we have done. Okay, done. You have dragged till. So first calculation will be based on the covariance.p function available in the Excel. Do it. That is lambda into previous day's variance covariance plus 1 minus lambda into previous day's return from Dow Jones multiplied by previous day's return from CSE. Drag it till 507. Drag it till 507. So first calculate, be careful with the cell references. So H8 till H507, first array, and second array is K8 till K507, second array. Okay, done. Then for the second day, you use this formula, lambda into previous day's covariance plus 1 minus lambda into previous day's return from Dow Jones multiplied by previous day's return from. Once this is done, then you drag it till 507. Now go to the fourth pair. First calculate the variance, covariance.p function. So second calculation, you have to use this formula, lambda into previous day's covariance multiplied by 1 minus lambda into previous day's return from FTSE and previous day's return from CSE. Okay, if this is done, then you just have to drag it till 507. So do it for the fifth pair, right? FTSE and Nikkei. Okay, then come to the next one. This is the formula for the next one. That is lambda into previous day's covariance plus 1 minus lambda into previous day's return from FTSE. Done. Okay, good. So, okay. So let us complete the sixth calculation for the sixth pair. So first use the covariance formula, covariance.p function. First array is J8 till J507 and second array is K8 till K507. We'll be using this formula, that is lambda into previous day's covariance plus 1 minus lambda into previous day's return from CSE multiplied by previous day's return. Yes. Is given till 25th September. But I now want to create the covariance matrix for 26th September. So that is what I am going to do now. Now, please understand, these are all covariance numbers for 26th September, right? So till 25th September, we have already done. Means if you refer to your 507, that is row number 507, that gives you the numbers till 25th September. But I want the covariance matrix for the 26th September. Say for example, this is a 4x4 matrix. I want to calculate first what is the covariance between Dow Jones and Dow Jones. Now here you have to understand one thing very critical, and that is, what is the formula for calculating covariance? Anyone remembers from your school days? How, say I want to calculate covariance between X and Y. How do I calculate covariance between X and Y? Do you recall the formula? The formula goes like this. Summation, anyone? X minus X bar multiplied by Y minus Y bar whole divided by N. Right? This is the formula for covariance between X and Y. Yes or no? Do you recall? If you want to calculate covariance between X and X, what this formula should look like now? This should be something like this. X minus X bar into again X minus X bar whole divided by N. This is basically nothing but summation x minus x bar whole square divided by n. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is basically the formula for variance of x. Variance of x is x minus x bar whole square summation of that divided by n. Yes or no? Do you recall from basic statistics class? So when you are talking about covariance between Dow Jones and Dow Jones, basically you are talking about variance of Dow Jones. That's it. Now we have already calculated what is the variance of Dow Jones till 25th. So 26th, you just have to drag one more cell down. That will give you, say for example, if I, you have understood this, right? So I'll just close this now. I'll first clear all the drawings and I'll close this. Okay. Now see here. What I have given? I have given the reference for P508. So you have already calculated till P507. So what you just have to do now, go to P507 till this you have already calculated. You just drag it down for P508. So P508 will be the covariance between Dow Jones and Dow Jones on 26 September, or it will be equal to the variance of Dow Jones on 26 September. Is this point clear or not? Yes or no? So come to P, column P, and drag this number. Whatever number you have in 507, just you drag it down by one cell. That will be the number for the 26th September. Is it clear? Understood? Everybody got this? Yes or no? So likewise, what you can do, the same thing we'll have to do for all others. So you can just select this row like this till this part and just drag it down by one column, one cell like this. Okay, because I'll be requiring all this now. Just do that. You select from this to this, then you just drag it down like this. Is it done? So now you come back here. So you see this is done. So here you just press equals to P507, sorry, P508 equals to P508. Okay, done? Yes or no? Good. Next. Now I want covariance between Dow Jones and FTSE. Now see, here I have given the formula. It should be equal to V508. Now we have already calculated the covariance between Dow Jones and FTSE till 25th September. So we'll have to just drag it down by one cell to calculate the covariance between Dow Jones and FTSE on 26th September. So let us go here in the covariance calculation. Now see, till this you have already calculated. Yes or no? Till 507 you have already calculated covariance for different pairs, right? So what you just have to do, you just have to drag it. First select from V507 till AA507 and just drag it down like this. I show it once again. Select from here to here and just drag it down. Now you can come here and just simply fill this very easily. So here you see, give the formula V508 equals to V508 equals to V508. Done? Same way, we will now keep on filling the other cells, right? So come to AD9 and just type equals to W508. Okay, done. To the cell number AD10 and enter the formula, that is equals to X508. Yeah. Now you come to AE7. AE7 will be equal to AD8 because covariance between Dow Jones and FTSE is same as covariance between FTSE and Dow Jones. Or I can say covariance between X and Y is same as covariance between Y and X, right? Now come to the next cell, that is AE8. AE8 will be equal to Q508. Why? Because it is a covariance between FTSE and FTSE. That is nothing but variance of FTSE. Yes. Okay. Come to AE9. AE9 is equal to, this is basically covariance between FTSE and Nikkei. Sorry, FTSE and CSE, right? And that is captured out here. That is in Y508. So just type equals to Y508. Okay, done. Covariance between FTSE and Nikkei, that is there in Z508. So right, type equals to Z508. Done. So now come to AF7. Covariance between CSE and Dow Jones. We have already calculated that. So it is basically equal to, so just press equals to AD9. So already calculated. So that's type equals to AE9. So in AF8, just type equals to AE9. Next, covariance between CSE and CSE. That is nothing but variance of CSE. And variance of CSE is captured in cell R508. So just next one's covariance between CSE and Nikkei. So it is captured in AA508. Just type equals to AA508. Now let us quickly fill this. This is almost done. So AG7, go to AG7, type equals to AD10 because we have already calculated this. AD10 equals to AD10. In AG7, type AD10. Then come to AG8 and type AE10. That is all. Come to AG9, that is equal to AF10. 10 and type equals to 508. So it's basically covariance between Nikkei and Nikkei. So covariance between Nikkei and Nikkei is same as variance of Nikkei. So that is captured in S508. S508. So standard deviation is basically square root of variance. So what is the standard deviation of Dow Jones? That is basically square root of variance. See, I have taken square root of variance. So what is the variance of FTSE? That is captured in AE8. So I want to find out the standard deviation of FTSE. So standard deviation should be equal to square root of variance. That is square root of AE8. Calculate the standard deviation of CSE. So again, that is square root of variance. So equals to SQRT. That is square root of AF9. Done. Then you calculate the standard deviation of Nifty. That is square root of AG10. square root of variance is 10. Okay, done till this, everybody. Now we'll come to calculation for portfolio variance. Now, before I do that, let me just show you the formula. Formula looks little scary, but don't get scared. We can easily calculate it in the matrix form. The formula for portfolio variance is this. The formula looks like this: double summation Wi into Wj into covariance between I and j. Okay, where I is equal to 1 to n and j equals to also 1 to n. Okay, this is the formula. So basically what you have to do, this can be easily calculated using this matrix format. So if you see, what is this number? What is this number? This number is nothing but I and j. So in this case, I is also Dow Jones, j is also Dow Jones, because it's a intersection of Dow Jones and Dow Jones, right? So what should be the formula? How should I calculate this number? I should calculate this number like this: weight of Dow Jones, that is Wi, multiplied by weight of Dow Jones again, because that is Wj, right? Multiplied by covariance between Dow Jones and Dow Jones, that is captured out here. So see the formula. Let us do it quickly. In AD16, enter the formula equals to AD507 into AD507 into AD7. So for second one, the formula would be like this. That is weight of Dow Jones multiplied by weight of FTSE multiplied by covariance between Dow Jones and FTSE. So come to AD18, enter the formula. AD507 multiplied by AF507 into AD9. That is, come to AD506, not AD506, this is actually hidden, right? Should be AD90. That is weight of Dow Jones multiplied by weight of Nikkei multiplied by covariance between Dow Jones and Nikkei. Let us come to FTSE column. So this is already calculated. So just type AD17. Next, FTSE and FTSE. So weight of FTSE multiplied by weight of FTSE, then covariance between FTSE and FTSE, which is next. So weight of FTSE multiplied by weight of CSE multiplied by covariance between FTSE and CSE. Complete. This one is weight of FTSE multiplied by weight of Nikkei multiplied by covariance between FTSE and Nikkei. This is already calculated. So just type equals to AD18. This is also already calculated. So just type equals to AE18. This is basically weight of CSE multiplied by weight of CSE multiplied by covariance between CSE and CSE, that is nothing but variance. So AF507 into AF507 into AF9. Next one. This is weight of CSC into weight of Nikkei into covariance between CSC and Nikkei. Now let us quickly finish off the Nikkei's column. So this is already calculated. So just type equals to AD506. This is also already done. Just type AE506. Come to the next one. This is also already done. So just type AF506. Last one. This is basically weight of Nikkei multiplied by weight of Nikkei into covariance between Nikkei and Nikkei. That is nothing but variance of Nikkei. So AG507 into AG507. Basically, you have to just add all of them. Sum of AD16 till AG50. So this is the portfolio variance. This is the portfolio variance on 26th September. Now you can cross check whether your answer is correct or not. See, this should also be equal to the number that is there in T508, because this is the variance. This is the variance of the portfolio on 26th. Yes or no? Sorry, on 507, you have the portfolio variance as on 25th September. So on 508, you have the portfolio variance as on 26th September. So whatever portfolio variance we have computed using this process on 26th September, that should be equal to this number. And you see, that is what is happening. That means your calculations are all correct. You are getting the same answer, right? So what will be the portfolio value variance? The return variance multiplied by F2 square. F2 shows you the total value of the portfolio, right? So total value of the portfolio was $10 million. SD will be just square root of variance. So portfolio return variance will be square root of AF509. So similarly, portfolio dollar value variance would be square root of variance, same way. Finally, we'll come to the VAR calculation. 199% VAR. What is the formula for VAR? What is the formula for VAR? Z into standard deviation. Z into standard deviation. VAR is under this approach, the formula mean plus SD into Z, standard deviation into Z, right? That's the basic formula. Mean is almost equal to 0. It tends to 0. That is why it is omitted. And then the formula becomes VAR is equal to SD into Z. Okay. So that is what we have done. Similarly, here also we'll follow the same thing. Z into standard deviation. OVAR or conditional VAR. CVAR, sorry, CVAR. What is the formula for CVAR? This is the formula for CVAR. I have just modified the formula as per our notation. Okay. So this is basically conditional VAR is equal to standard deviation of the portfolio, SD of the portfolio into square root T. T is the time. So here we are taking daily data. That means time T is 1. So square root of 1 is basically 1. So for daily data, you can just remove this. That's why in the second line you have written this is not required for daily data, because it is ultimately will become 1. Square root of 1 is 1 only, right? Then so you can write it like this. OVAR is equal to standard deviation of the portfolio multiplied by CVAR is equal to standard deviation of the portfolio multiplied by e to the power of Z square. This is Z minus Z square by 2 whole divided by square root of 2 pi into 1 minus confidence level. Confidence level is 99%. Okay. So now we will be using that. See, this is the formula I have used. Just you take it down or enter the formula. So 1 minus confidence level is 0.01, because 1 minus 0.99 is equal to 0.01. And pi you can use 22/7 for pi, or you can simply use that function pi double bracket. Calculate it for the dollar value, right? Just enter the formula. I do not know whether you are aware of this formula or not. There is a formula. Suppose I want to calculate correlation between x and y. The formula goes like this: covariance between x and y divided by standard deviation of x multiplied by standard deviation of y. This is the formula. Okay, so I know the covariance. I also know the standard deviation. See, I know the covariance between x and y. I know the standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y. So easily from covariance matrix, I can convert that into a correlation matrix. Yes or no? Can't we do that? We can. The diagonal. See, this is the diagonal. This is the diagonal thing, right? This. Here it will be 1, right? Correlation between Dow Jones and Dow Jones has to be 1. Correlation between FTSE and FTSE has to be 1. Correlation between CSE and CSE has to be 1. Correlation between Nikkei and Nikkei has to be 1, right? So without calculating, you can fill this part. And if you want to be, super confident about the concept, then you can even apply the formula and check whether you are getting exactly equal to 1 or not. Say, for example, how will I calculate correlation between Dow Jones and Dow Jones? I will take covariance between Dow Jones and Dow Jones divided by standard deviation of Dow Jones multiplied by standard deviation of Dow Jones. If I do that, I'll get this answer. See, it is still 1. See, what is the formula I have used? AD7, that is covariance between Dow Jones and Dow Jones, divided by AD12, that is standard deviation of Dow Jones multiplied by AD12, that is again standard deviation of Dow Jones. If I simplify, I get 1. So you need not calculate it, but you can always cross verify them. Let us do this part a little fast. Okay, done. Correlation between Dow Jones and FTSE, AD8 by AD12 into AE12. This is correlation between Dow Jones and CSE, that is AD9 by AD12 into AF12. Correlation between Dow Jones and Nikkei, so AD10 by AD12 into AG12. First one is already calculated, so just equals to AD535. 1, you can type 1, or you can also enter the formula and cross check whether you are getting 1 or not. So if you get 1, then you can be 100% confident that the calculations that you have made are all correct. Correlation between FTSE and CSE, A9 by A12 into AF12. A10 by A12 into AG12. CSE column, this is already calculated. Just type AD536. This is also already calculated. Just type equals to AE536. This should be equal to 1, or you can cross verify because it's a correlation between CSE and CSE. So equals to AF9 by AF12 into AF. Next, it's correlation between CSE and Nikkei. So it should be equal to AF10 by AF12 into AG12. Nikkei column, this is already done. So just press equals to AD537. So already done. Just type equals to AE537. This again already done. Just type equals to AF537. And finally, this should be equal to 1 because it's a correlation between Nikkei and Nikkei, but you can cross check using the formula AG10 by AG12 into AG12. So finally, we have come to the end of this marathon session. Okay, so we have done it.